All right, we are live.
Hello, I am back.
Welcome back. You're home. You did it.
It's been a long time.
3 weeks, yeah? Been a while.
Well, I mean, I wasn't traveling for 3 weeks, but 3 episodes. I missed 3 episodes.
Yes.
Or three. You didn't record every week, but three. I missed 3 Thursdays.
3 Thursdays. Yes, that's right.
Yep. Yep. How have you been?
I've been pretty. I've been okay. I've been tired, but okay.
Anything cool going on?
No,
'Cause I've,
nothing.
I've I've done some cool stuff, but it's been 3 weeks. You must have done something cool.
No, I haven't. Nothing cool at all.
Man, I'm sorry to hear that.
It is what it is. But how was your trip? Every week we were trying to like pinpoint where you might have been, and the first week we did because we missed the first week or whatever that you were gone. So the second week, we, I think I said I remember seeing something about you in Poland. So I thought you were in Krakow, Poland around that time.
Yeah, second week would have been somewhere in Poland. It depends on what day it was. Yeah.
And then last week I think I assumed something in like Budapest. I actually had no idea.
Budapest was like the first stop, so
Okay, okay, that
that was
makes sense.
before Poland. Um, it was. So I flew in and out of Czechia, like Prague,
Mm-hmm.
went to Budapest. Budapest was probably the highlight of the trip. Holy
Okay.
smokes, so much fun. Like I went to these. I don't know how much you were following like my Instagrams and such, but for those who weren't, Budapest is known for having these outdoor thermal baths. They're like outdoor hot tubs, basically, like communal hot tubs,
Yep.
really big. So I was hanging out there. I was chilling in the hot tub, and I see this old guy, got to be like in his 60s. Off to the side, there's like this kind of armresty little platform thing. Sets up a waterproof chessboard
Okay, I did see this. Yes.
just for people to like come up and play him. And people did. People did come up and say like, "Hey, would you like to play a game?" Um, And at one point, he has like his bag off to the side. He goes over to the side and he pulls out a can of beer and cracks it open. I'm like,
Okay.
can you have cans of beer in? No, you can't, because he puts it back and like hides it behind his bag. You just know this dude has probably been coming here every day for like 30 years to drink a cold one and just play chess. Like it was the
Yeah.
cutest thing.
Yeah. No, that's great.
That
Did
was
you try
hilarious.
playing them?
I did not try playing him.
Okay.
No, no. Um, what else? Like the party boat that I went on was super awesome, especially because it stops right outside of Budapest's Parliament building, which is this gorgeous building. And then at night, they light it up all golden, and the party boat was at night. So that was just like spectacular. That was probably a highlight for sure.
Cool.
Budapest was a lot of fun. And then yeah, went off to Poland. And if you have questions, feel free to interrupt me based on stuff you saw if you were following the socials. But
Hmm.
um, Warsaw was probably the low point. I did not really enjoy my time in Warsaw very much.
Okay.
Kind of a bit sleepy. Didn't find a ton to do, especially because like I usually stay in like the old towns because that's usually where a lot of the hostels are. It's where a lot of the travelers are. But in Warsaw,
Yep.
everything in the old town closes down at like 9 p.m. And I
Oh
couldn't even
man.
find like travelers to hang out at the bars. I was like, where's everybody? And people were saying, "Oh, you got to get out of Old Town. You got to get out of Old Town." And I did get out of Old Town on the last night, and that was definitely livelier. But the problem is the Old Town, like to get out of it, it's like a half-hour walk. Like it's not the easiest to just like get out of there. So that yeah, that wasn't great. And the weather sucked. Like with the wind, it was on and off raining, and with the wind chill, some of the days it was 3 degrees.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So Warsaw was like a low point, but then I went up to Krakow. Krakow was super fun again. Met a lot of travelers. Had a really fun hostel. Um, and on the last night in Krakow, I had just gotten back from the salt mine tour that kind of took up like the first half of the day,
Hmm.
and I was just on the traveler app trying to see if some people wanted to hang out this evening or something was going on, and someone randomly posts, "Hey, is anyone going to the Baby Metal concert tonight?" And I was like, "Holy shit, this would be cool." Immediately was able to get tickets, so I went and saw Baby Metal in Krakow on the last night there.
Nice. That would be fun. That would be fun. I
That
love
was
baby metal.
that was absolutely wild. Um, The mosh pits were huge, and I wasn't planning on doing any moshing because, I'm backpacking, so it's like I gotta wear this shirt like three
Yeah.
more times. I get it sweaty. I'm not doing laundry, and I don't want to risk getting injured in any way. Like I have a lot of walking still to do. I'm sleeping in like kind of shitty beds. But I was like, I need to I need to get in this mosh pit at least once so I can say I did it, so I can say I was moshing to baby metal. Um, yeah, so I jumped in there for a couple minutes, but
Okay.
yeah, that was cool. That was tons of pyrotechnics. That was very fun. That was another highlight of the trip. Um,
Nice.
then Berlin was the last stop.
Berlin.
I was
Right.
able to run
Okay.
into a bunch of people who I had actually seen on previous stops. A bunch of them showed up there again, so I always love re-meeting some of the travelers and stuff, and that was fun. And the nightclubs in Berlin are fucking insane.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah,
That's
I
awesome.
actually learned because I always do a walking tour at every one of these cities I go to, and the guide said that night clubbing is such an integral part of the Berlin city culture that they are actually UNESCO World Heritage protected.
Wow.
Like
Okay.
that is how important clubbing is to Berlin. So that was pretty interesting.
That's cool. Neat.
Yeah. It was a good trip. I got really lucky. None of the flights had any issues with any of the flights, so that was
That
really
is lucky.
fortunate.
That's good.
Yep. Um. Yeah. No. Apart from that, good trip. Got a
Tired?
cold. Yeah, on and off. So like what I did actually leading up to it is I tried this new jet lag strategy that I had read about where before the trip, the week before your trip, I shift my sleep schedule an hour forward every day so that
Oh.
there won't be jet lag over there because I'm pretty much already on that time. And to be fair, like it worked. I wasn't jet lagged over there. I don't recommend it though because it kind of ruined like almost a week's worth of evenings because
Oh,
eventually I'm
yeah.
going to bed at like 8 p.m., 7 p.m. and it's just like like I get off work, maybe I can go to the gym, and then I'm immediately going to like sleep or trying to go to sleep. And it's not the easiest to kind of turn off. So yeah, I don't know if I would really recommend it.
Yeah.
On the other side, on the way coming back, I slept a bunch on the first night, which I'm not surprised because obviously I did, I had a bunch of traveling. I didn't sleep very great on like the plane or anything. But I feel like every night's getting worse. Like I'm sleeping less. Like my
Weird.
first night was
Okay.
good. Second night was like a little worse, and then this morning I was wide awake at 3 a.m.
Oh, man.
So I feel like I've been awake forever.
Yeah.
I was working today. It was like 10 a.m. and I was like, all right, how much of the workday's done? Oh, none of it.
None.
I've just been
Yeah.
up forever.
Yeah. Oh, I've done a few of those
So
days. That's rough. That's hard.
so I'm hoping this, and I've been going to bed early. I've been going to bed at like 8:39 maybe. So I'm hoping, we're doing the show tonight. Hopefully that'll kind of force me to stay awake. I'm also as a transition, I want to see the new Mission Impossible. Do you have any interest in that?
Not at all. Nope.
Okay. I like those movies, but I'd never seen the first trilogy of them, and
Yeah.
I understand the new one references a lot of the really early ones. Um, so I watched the first one yesterday for the first time.
Yeah.
I
What do
was
you
just
think?
watching the second one now. I paused it halfway through. After this, I'll go finish it, and then probably Friday I'll see the third one, and then I'll go. And then I'll have seen all of them, so I'll go see the new one.
Okay. What did you... I remember thinking back on the first one. I think it was kind of boring, but I don't remember because it's been quite a while. It's just every time I remember back to it, I remember the scenes that get referenced all the time, like primarily him being lowered from the roof or whatever and catching himself at the last minute. But like, for the most part, I think my memory of that movie is kind of boring.
I liked it. I'm liking it more than the second one so far. I mean, I'm only halfway through it, so there's obviously going to be a big climactic thing at the end.
Yeah,
Um, but the second one is just weird because it's like it came out in 2000. I think it was 2000.
sounds about right.
Yeah, I was just looking this up. It is like so 90s coded in terms of like what they're wearing, how they're
It has
looking,
Limp
and
Bizkit as
also
the title screen, so that's something.
oh, is it? Okay, I didn't pick up on that. And Ethan Hunt, like Tom Cruise, like they've made him such like a pretty boy, and like
Yeah.
ladies man, like it's kind of it's different than the first one. The first one's like, no, these are like serious like spies.
Yeah.
They're, you know, people are, his team's killed and stuff. But then in this one they're like, all right, now let's get the love interest, and
They
oh,
tried to
he's so
James
sexy.
Bondify
And
him a little bit. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. And it's weird because, you know, I came into Mission Impossible from like 4 on, where at this point Tom Cruise is definitely older, so it's kind of harder to make him he's still like a ladies man, but he's not this degree of ladies man, especially as you
Right.
go on when he definitely comes more of like, I don't know, I feel like in the last couple he's almost like a dad to the team. Like he just it's all about his family and his friends, whereas he's like a playboy in this one. So it's definitely kind of a weird juxtaposition there, but
Yeah.
I liked the first one more than the second one so far. Yeah, and the first one
Okay.
ends with the like big train chase. There's like a
You know what?
helicopter and
I
stuff.
could rewatch those now, and they'd be fresh enough. A lot of it, like,
Okay.
because even in the second one, like, I won't spoil the part I remember because it's on the second half. But the other part I remember is literally the beginning of him hanging from the rock climbing, right?
Yes, that's in 2. Yeah,
So that's like the big thing I remember, which is the beginning. So
it's the beginning. Also, the other thing that one had going for it that I liked is it's set in Prague, which I was like just in Prague, and I also really like Prague, so that was fun to see.
Sure.
It's more of that for sure.
Yeah, that's fair.
I did want to give a shout out to the movie I went and saw this weekend when I got back was Friendship.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, with Paul Rudd and Tim Robinson. I was shocked when it finishes and it says written by, and I forgot the person's name, but it was not written by Tim Robinson, because that just seems like a really long I think you should leave sketch. Like it is exactly that kind of writing. Tim Robinson is screaming like he does all the time. That movie is hilarious.
Yeah, that's one I can't wait for to. I don't like going to the theater if I can help it, so I'm definitely into that though. Those two seem like they would play off each other very well.
Yeah, they do, because like
Yeah.
Paul Rudd, his character, he's definitely more of like a straight man, but he's also just kind of a bit of an eccentric. And then Tim
Yeah.
Robinson's just like a complete psychopath.
Yes, that's right. That tracks.
Yeah, other than that, came back, and then I got a tattoo yesterday, so that's pretty exciting.
I saw that. Yeah. Is it sore today? A little tender?
It's been sore since I got it. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
I wasn't even like planning to get it yesterday. I was planning to go in and just like set up like an appointment for later on,
Mm-hmm.
because I have like a in a few weeks I'm going surfing with some friends, and I understand I should not go in the ocean with a new tattoo. So I was like, oh yeah, so can we do it after this time? She's like, well, that's far enough out. We could do it today if you want. And I was like, all right.
Oh, so you were already set on what you wanted and everything, really? Like
Yeah,
yeah.
and the
Okay.
spot and everything like that. It was more just like I wanted to talk about it. You know, how much would this be? Is it what do I need to know? It's my first one. When are people available? Apparently right now. Let's just do it. And my
Sure.
mom hates it.
Oh yeah, she got a little upset about it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
She seems like she's coming around in it because now she's like starting to like ask questions about it, but beforehand she was very upset.
Yeah. If anybody want to see that, it's on Instagram, or is it Blue Sky?
On my
I can't
Instagram.
Okay,
It's on my
Instagram.
Instagram. Yeah. I'll probably post it on the Blue Sky, but it's on the Instagram already. Yeah. And for those who aren't gonna like, go look it up, it's on my like quad. It actually kind of wraps around my leg. It's a map of the world.
Yeah.
And the idea is, you know, I'm not going to do anything for a while because I kind of like it. It's all just kind of stenciled out. But I like the idea of maybe filling in.
Every time you go to a place, you should go to a tattoo place there and get them to put it on.
No, there's no way I would do that, because then I'm just going to be like That means every time I travel, I'll have a sore ass leg that I need to like protect and stuff. And I need to worry about like getting sweaty, or I can't go swimming. Like there's no way I'll do that too.
Yeah.
But my mom was like, why'd you have to get such a big one?
Sure. Yeah.
Why couldn't you just got like a nice small one on your calf? She said some other wild stuff, but I'll tell you that offline. So
Okay. Fair enough.
let's do a podcast about video games, because this is the Top Down Perspective, and it is May 28th. I'm Sean Booker.
I'm Paul Fleck.
And if you haven't noticed, Claire's not here. It's also Wednesday, special Wednesday edition, because Thursday was not going to work out for most people, but Wednesday was the winner. So here you go.
Yeah.
Paul, what have you been playing?
Nothing worth talking about. It's been a bad week. So,
Whoa.
yeah.
Whoa. Okay. Bad week for games. All right, I got stuff.
Yeah.
I actually didn't play much at all on my trip. I was watching a lot of shows.
Yeah, I was curious if you
Um,
had taken like the Switch or the Steam Deck and did anything.
you
No.
know, I do. I take it every time, and then
Mhm.
I just end up watching shows. But I'm so
Yeah,
worried about like being on a plane and like not wanting to, and just being bored that I'm like, oh, I got to bring more than,
I feel that.
and I I
Yeah.
usually don't end up playing much of it. Um, but I did while I was gone. And I can talk about it as of today. I did get code for Nightreign.
Yeah.
Um, and so I was like, oh, I got my Steam Deck, so I was able to download that over shitty airport Wi-Fi and
Sure.
play offline solo mode.
Okay.
Let me just tell you, don't play this solo. This game is
Yeah.
so hard solo. Um,
Sure.
but I mean, it was still fun to kind of like dip my toes into it while I was on the plane coming back. But then I've played a couple rounds with people, and it's way different. So for those who don't know, Elden Ring, Night Rain, this is the multiplayer kind of Elden Ring rogue-like ish. You're doing runs, three-person co-op game.
Yeah.
Um, I like it. It's cool. It is way different. Like, so the reason I'm saying don't play it solo is typically when I'm playing a Souls, like I'm slow, I'm methodical, I'm taking on one person at a time. You don't have time to do that. The
Right.
ring is closing too fast. Like you need to be running through these things. And when I was playing with a crew, because I had progressed the not as much as anyone else because they've had it for like over a week at this point, and they were all playing with each other. They were kind of shepherding me through it, and it's like there are paths you need to know. You need to know when to go after this mini boss, and then that mini boss, and then you get the extra flask here, and then if you do this dungeon, you can get the legendary weapon, and like there's gonna be so many guides out there of this is like the optimal way to take on this boss. The way you go into the matchmaking is you select which boss you want to go after, and that kind of sets up what the world will look like for you, and then it drops you in there and stuff like that. But
Hmm.
it's hard to say if it scales to solo versus being in a group, but the part that doesn't matter is when you're with two other people, you're hitting an enemy 3 times as often. So
Yeah.
even if they have more health, you're staggering them or you're knocking them out of their animation so much more
Yeah.
that
Right.
it is exponentially easier with a team.
Sure.
Because I was running into like so when you die in this, you actually you if you're with a team, they can basically you're in a downed state and they can attack your down state, and then once they've done enough damage to your down state, you'll get back up. So there is a revive. If you're playing solo, it just kind of revives you a little ways away from where you were. And then, much like a Souls like, there's a corpse run. However, because the ring is closing, a lot of times I would, let's say I find like a mine. I'm like, okay, I'm cool. I'm gonna go in here. I'm gonna fight some guys in the mine. Maybe I'll find something cool. Oh shit, the ring closed around me, and I couldn't exit the mine because it was technically around the ring. Now I'm dead. Okay, it respawned me back in the ring. All my souls are outside of the ring.
Yeah.
And it knocks you every time you die, it knocks you down a level. And you can leveling up is easy. If you have enough souls, you come across a site of grace, and the site of graces are now just here's your health and stamina and FP back. Here's your flasks back. Do you have enough to level up? That's all you do at sites of grace now. It's no longer put points into specific attributes. It's just kind of a general scaling up of your character.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. This is supposed to be like a streamlined, faster version of Elden Ring or a Souls-like. But if your souls are outside of the ring, you might as well just go fuck yourself. So playing
Right.
solo is rough. But when you're with a team, like you're not respawning. You're just kind of standing back up when they hit you. It's way better. It's different, but it's cool because it's so much faster. You play it so much faster than you would expect. There's no fall damage. Like you can just jump off a cliff. You're good. You can wall jump, so you basically have a double jump if you're against a wall. So you're scaling walls like that. They kind of have set up a lot of these like not like a staircase, but very like double jumpy up these walls.
Hmm.
Um, and the first character, which is the only character I've played so far, because I've only put like 3 hours into it. I kind of wanted to just get good. This is the one that you'll see on the box art. A lot of the box art's Wilder or Wilder. It's with a Y though, so I'm gonna assume it's Wilder. Um, they straight up have the Lies of P hookshot, which is awesome.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's pretty
I
good.
like that. That's another thing is in terms of like mechanically, plays just like Elden Ring, except now you have like two abilities. I'm using an Xbox controller as an example. If you hold Y and press left trigger for Wilder, you'll do the one that that's on a shorter cooldown, the weaker one, and that's the hook shot. If you hold Y and hit right trigger, that's your ultimate. And Wilder has this one where he does this kind of like explosive punch, and you can actually stand there and you're invulnerable while you're charging it up and do a stronger explosive punch. Everyone has two different abilities like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
there's
then,
like different classes essentially, right? Like
yeah,
archetypes.
so that's kind of the whole thing is you're picking which class you want to do, and then which boss do you want to go up against, and that's kind of how you're setting it up. So theoretically, they could introduce like more maps, they could introduce more bosses that would change the thing, and there are also parts because I'm talking to my coworkers who are much further than me. They've been playing it longer. The world state can change, so the map can change. There isn't just one version of the map. Stuff can happen to the map, similar to like an Elden Ring when it's like, yo, something came down and just fucked this place. And now it looks like this now. So
Yeah.
similar to that, you can do that, and you can change the world state. Like it kind of rotates through, and you can like go into the bed to kind of force time forward, and you can change it like that and stuff. But they could easily add more characters, which would kind of change the whole thing up. And that's the main thing is which character do you want to play as, and I think there's 6 in there right now. No, there's got to be more than that. I think you start with 6, but you unlock more of them. Again, I'm pretty early on because I've been gone for so long. I didn't have a great chance to dive into it, but it comes out on Friday, I believe, and the reviews
The 30th
seem pretty positive.
Yep.
Yeah. Where are you sitting on with this? Because you usually want to play solo stuff for your Souls.
I've watched a lot of this. I follow a lot of streamers that do like Dark Souls, Elden Ring content or whatever. So they've been playing a shitload of this sort of thing and tests and like ad stuff. This is 100% not a thing I give a shit about. I don't like the flow of the combat or the gameplay at all from the looks of it. If somebody said, hey, like, do you want to play? I would play with them, but like, I'm basically not gonna buy it unless like 2 friends are like, hey, we're playing this, join up, essentially. And then I would play to play with them.
That seems likely for you though. You're usually playing some multiplayer stuff.
I don't have a lot of people that play Souls-likes.
Oh,
not a whole lot of them. Yeah. So it's 100% not a thing I care about, honestly. It's cool looking though. Like it's a cool different thing for people that maybe don't love even the standard Elden Ring thing or want something different.
Yeah, I think that's kind of my favorite part about it is how different. Like they didn't just kind of, not that their games are very similar, but they're all kind of, there's a formula to it. They kind of stick to a genre. And then this is like, hey, here's something different that like nobody's kind of done. And like and it forces you to play differently. Like playing at this speed is not what I am used to. Like it's used to go slow, take them on one at a time, otherwise you're screwed. But no, at this point it's like, hey, it doesn't matter. Even if you die, you're going to bring some stuff back because it is a roguelike basically.
Mm-hmm.
So you can upgrade from there. You're equipping different trinkets to give you different upgrades and stuff like that. There's a lot in there, and like if you're a Souls sicko, like there's going to be a lot of like kind of hidden stuff in there to find. Like people are going to really like that kind of stuff. But I don't know if I would say it's like the best one to like jump into because like
it's just so different. Yeah.
Like if it's like your first Souls, like it's just like the breakneck pace of it is just is rough. But maybe if you don't have the kind of the baggage of used to going slow, then maybe it'd be fine.
Yeah.
If you had someone who could kind of like shepherd you along, I would, and this was your first one, that would probably be a pretty good case. But if you were just going in blind, you were just like, hey, I want to try a Souls-like, is this the new hotness? I think I might still just recommend Elden Ring.
Yeah, you might get the wrong idea if this is like your first one ever of what these games are.
I feel like this just kind of implies like, hey, you kind of need to know how this works because you need to like do it fast now.
Sure. Yeah. That's fair.
But, I say that, though, but it's like, hey, if you got 2 randos you're playing with and they kind of got the hang of it, you could just kind of follow along. And you'd probably still do fine. Like, whatever. Like, the whole point is you're going to die over and over again. That's the point. That's the point with Elden Ring, too, and every Souls-like is, I hope you're ready to die a lot. Because, like,
Yeah.
You need to. This is serious business. Here we go.
Yeah. Exactly.
It is cool though. And I think Bandai is sending me a collector's edition to do like an unboxing. So I'll have that on like Friday, which will be pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah. Apart from that, this is kind of a ways back. But and I know you talked a bit about it while I was gone. But Doom: The Dark Ages, I got code for that like 6 days before my trip, and it was like, all right, can I play through this whole thing before I leave? And I was able to. I to be fair, I put it on the easiest difficulty, so I was just kind of flying through it. But that game is kind of long. There's a lot of chapters in that game.
I think there's 22 from like the chapter selector that you go through. It's something like that. It's over 20,
Yeah.
I'll say.
It's sure. long. There's a lot. What were your thoughts on Doom?
Yeah, I don't like it very much, to be honest with you. It's just a little too slow for me.
Too slow? Oh, I thought it was pretty fast. So you're more into like Eternal speed? Because I feel like most people did not like Eternal. Interesting. Yeah. Okay, you're kind of an outlier, I feel like.
Maybe, but I think it's also that Eternal, the battle arena stuff just felt better. Like more of a murder puzzle sort of thing. This one, it all kind of like... Eventually... The only thing you do in this game for a long time is hold your shield up when the green thing hits to do, like, bounce a thing back, break armor, and then attack. And it just got a little too samey for me.
I really liked the big arenas where you're just kind of exploring around and like, oh, what's in this little nook and cranny? What's in this crevice? I thought those were very fun to do.
Like the semi-open world sort of thing or whatever.
Yeah. There's a handful of them throughout it. Like they do it quite often. I liked that. It's cool when you get the mech the first time.
See, that's the part I thought was boring, because it was just like, okay, click the button 3 times and then click the other one, and it just felt like I was so let down by the mech and the dragon riding that the rest.
The dragon is like definitely kind of like the most like video gamey, where it's like, okay, dodge to the left,
bad.
Dodge to the left.
It's kind of bad.
Dodge to the left, but. I mean, just kind of visually and everything.
Yeah.
I was like, let's fucking go. Look at this. It's not even like a dragon. It's some kind of like beast that they've just attached like mech wings to.
Some winged beast of some sort, yeah.
And that was similar. Like I mean, that's the hard thing with like, so the mech is, you're supposed to be overpowered, right? But you can't be so overpowered that everything is easy. But it needs to be easy. You know what I mean? Like there's a balance there whenever they're trying to make something feel like truly like powerful, right? So I understand how, you know, it's not the most engaging gameplay, but again, visually and kind of like what was going on, I was like, look, this thing is huge. I got a giant gun. Let's go. I like the shield charge to close the gap. I really enjoyed that.
The shield charge is pretty great. Also, there's a nice impact thud, like especially with a bunch of the little crappy minions that you just like explode all around them. What I was saying is,
as you go through them,
I would love an Avengers game where you play Captain America and like this is how he plays. Like that would be so fucking badass. It's so cool.
This guy's like, he's like way stronger than Captain America, because if you come across like tables and chairs, you can just walk through them and they explode.
They explode. Everything.
Yeah, like they might as well not even like have any kind of resistance. This dude is extremely powerful.
Yeah.
What gun did you end up kind of like? Did you finish it?
No, I didn't bother finishing it yet. I'll go back to it eventually. Okay. Like, the problem is I don't hate it, but I was so excited that I think I built myself up, and it fell short of expectation, so it was a bummer. It was a letdown more than it was, like, I don't think it's bad, but it is a letdown for me.
I mean, if you're wanting the combat to go faster, put it on easy. Like, then you're just mowing people. Like, I was never slow.
Oh, no, I don't want to kill things faster. I want the combat to be more engaging. It's too slow for me. That's the problem.
Okay. Yeah. I will say the only part I didn't like was any enemy that has some kind of invulnerability, whether that's turn into a ghost, or there's this one guy who has like a shield he puts up, like a barrier, and you just have to wait it out. Which when you're playing on easy, if I'm fighting something that doesn't get disintegrated in 3 seconds, it feels like an eternity.
Yes. This is what I'm saying.
My
those
favorite
enemies
weapon
suck.
was the second form of whatever the one is where it like destroys a skull and then shoots the skull chunks.
Oh,
which is so ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like grinding up skulls into like a scatter shot, like machine gun sort of thing. The
Yeah, but
second
there's a
form of
second
that,
version of it where it like tightens up
the
the
spread.
spread on it,
Mm-hmm.
and that was the one I was primarily using.
Sure. I'm a big super shotgun guy. So, like, whenever I
Sure.
play Doom, I need the super shotgun. I'm a little let down by the sound effects for the super shotgun specifically. It's not chunky enough for me, but that thing still rips
Oh,
things apart, which
okay.
is so fun. And
The problem
actually,
with the super shock The problem with
sorry.
the super shotgun is you have to like reload it and you have to keep pressing the button, whereas the one I was using, you just hold it down and
Sure.
you get so much ammo, it's like you just don't stop shooting chunks of skull.
The nice thing in this game about the super shotgun is that there is like a melee focus and you can close the gap so much so that that super shotgun
Yeah.
is essentially just like a nuke going off anytime you shoot it, because you're up near things so much more than the other games where you're like there's some distance between you two. It's just so
Yeah,
powerful.
and I like the melee attacks, like you get like a 3 or 4 hit combo with like the
Yep.
mace, which is good. I also like that there are equipables for what happens when you do a parry, and one of them you get is just a turret comes out of your shoulder and fires for a bit. I
Yeah.
liked that one quite a bit. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
there's
liked it.
cool
I
ideas.
thought it was a pretty metal time. So,
It
and
is
yeah.
definitely a metal time. Yeah. Also, I was a little let down by the music. I thought it wasn't as good as the previous ones, but it's fine.
That's what everyone keeps saying, but I guess I don't really have like an attachment or any kind of memory of the other music, so that just didn't like land for me in any way.
Sure.
All right, last thing I've been playing. This launched today. It's on Game Pass. I think it's on everything to a T. This is Keita Takahashi's new
Is this the
game.
T-pose one or whatever?
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
okay.
this is,
Yeah.
if you don't know who Takahashi is, the creator of Katamari Damacy. This is his new game. I actually interviewed him about this game back at GDC, um, so that was pretty exciting. But this is out now. It's definitely his most like narrative focused. Like you're doing like a storyline. I will say though, it's pretty slow. It is a pretty slow game. There's not like a ton kind of going on. You're just kind of being a 13-year-old kid that doesn't have elbows, and it's just kind of a lot of like silly gags of like, yeah, he's got to brush his teeth in this weird way, and oh, people are bullying him. So yeah, it's just kind of like it's almost, it reminds me kind of like the like the kind of Life is Strange is the like kind of more kind of narrative focused coming of age story. Obviously, there's nowhere near as much narrative as those ones. You're not doing like dialogue trees and stuff. But it's definitely like a pretty chill time. I'm it's there's I think there's 8 or 9 chapters. I'm in chapter 3. I've been hearing some people say it kind of doesn't do much, so
Mm,
I'm a little worried about if it's going to kind of remain at this pace. It might just kind of be a bit of a letdown.
that
But I'm
sucks.
liking the quirkiness. There's a fun, and it's broken into episodes, and the theme song of each episode's fun, and then it ends, and there's a giraffe that likes to sing about making sandwiches. That's usually the end of the episode, and I always like listening to that song.
I'm into that.
So,
That's good.
I mean, it's on Game Pass. If you have Game Pass, like check it out. Why not? And I just want Takahashi to keep making like weird little fun, nice games. So,
Sure. Yeah.
yeah.
Agreed.
Hopefully, I'll finish that up later this week and can talk more about the second half of it next time.
Cool.
Although next week, I'm going to be at Summer Game Fest, so I'm not even going to be here for the next episode.
Yeah. And John won't be either, so I'll figure something out. Or sorry.
All right,
Yeah.
let's do some news. Not a lot happened this week, obviously, because Summer Game Fest is next week. Everyone's saving their big announcements for there. But just today, thanks EA for coming in and saving the news cycle by laying a bunch of people off and closing down a studio and canceling the Black Panther game that they've been working on for the last few years.
Oh, I saw this. Yeah, I didn't read it though. Wow. Okay. Jeez. 300 rolls. Oh, that's from last month.
So this is Cliffhanger Game Studios. This is the open world Black Panther game that had been working on for a few years. This is not the Black Panther Captain America game that is being done by Skydance. That's a different one. So there is
Oh,
still a Black Panther game coming. This was just core Black Panther. Um,
okay.
In an email sent to staff from EA Entertainment, President Laura Miele said that these changes, alongside other recent cancellations and layoffs, are being done to, quote, sharpen our focus and put our creative energy behind the most significant growth opportunities. At
So they
this
don't think
point,
it's
like,
gonna sell.
EA's just gonna make football games and,
Yeah,
like, mobile stuff.
probably. Yep.
They just, like, I feel like it was, like, a month or 2 ago, they laid off a chunk of Respawn and canceled, like, another Star Wars thing.
I don't think I even knew about this Black Panther game, to be honest with you. I was thinking of the
Well,
one
here
that
you
you were
go.
talking about.
I
Yeah.
hope it didn't get you excited.
I think a Black Panther game could be real cool. So that's
Well,
too bad.
like I said, there's one more coming. You still have a chance of playing Black Panther, but not. But now that he has to have a buddy. He doesn't get to just be by himself.
Oh, okay. That's probably for the best, I
Yeah.
guess.
So heart goes out to Cliffhanger Game Studios. That's rough.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah. Okay, the N64 Classics feature is getting updated over on the Switch expansion pass. They're adding a rewind feature and a CRT filter. Who's
Oh,
excited?
okay, standard emulation stuff. That's cool. Well, why not? Sure.
Yep.
I won't use that
Yep.
probably, but
Nope. I don't have the Nintendo Switch Online, and I definitely don't have the Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack.
Ah.
But I mean, hey, Switch 2's coming out, and they're going to give me GameCube, so maybe I'll change my mind. Probably not.
Get that CRT filter going.
Pokemon Legends ZA got a release date, October 16th. I'm looking forward to this game. I think the Legend game was the best Pokemon game that came out that year. So I'm curious if this is going to be a meaningful kind of upgrade to this formula, or if they're slowly turning this into kind of the Pokemon formula of let's not do anything every generation because these rubes will keep buying it no matter what. This will be a test, and I'm curious. I'm cautiously optimistic because it's been a few years, but I don't really trust the Pokemon Company with anything in terms of creativity.
Yeah. I mean, I am definitely not going to pick this up, but I will be interested to hear what people like you have to say about it, and maybe you'll sway me.
I mean, I'm not even speaking with my dollar. I buy these each time, and then I just complain. So I'm part of the problem. But I buy lots of bad games, so I mean, I don't know if I'm the best test case.
I mean, when you talk about video games so often, it's just a thing you get used to, I guess. Gotta talk
if you play as many games as I do, you're gonna have to play some bad games.
It's just the way it is, unfortunately.
Yep. Will you watch a Death Stranding anime?
Yeah, I mean, I played through that game, so I feel like I kind of already did, to be honest with you. It just wasn't, like, Japanese.
Are you excited for 2?
I am. Yeah, I actually am.
I understand 2 is extremely long.
Oh, that's making me less excited, but still, okay.
Like, I went back and I restarted the first one.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to get ready for 2. I had only put maybe a dozen to 20 hours into it, so I restarted. I set it to easy. I just want to like fly through this story.
Yeah.
To get ready for 2. The how long to beat, if you're just kind of going through the main thing, is around 40. Out of the previews, people were saying this is 2 is probably going to be around 100 hours.
Okay. Sure.
So I hope you really enjoyed your time with Death Stranding, because there's a lot more for you.
I did until like the last area, essentially. When they started going into mountain stuff, I didn't like.
No spoilers.
Yeah, fair enough.
I don't know. It seems like a no-brainer. Make a Death Stranding anime. I'm surprised Kojima hadn't got a part of that earlier.
Yeah. Is there anybody tied to it that we know yet? Sorry, I'm just looking through the thing right now.
I don't believe there's like any information other than it's in the works.
Gotcha.
Says Kojima.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, apparently there's a quote here. I am currently working with A24 on a live-action film adaptation of Death Stranding. That sounds familiar. I forgot about that. So I hope you really like Death Stranding. I hope you really like watching this dude walk and wear bulky suits.
Yeah, I mean, I hope they find something else to do with him or that world. It would be better if they just focus on that world and not him, necessarily. But, who knows?
That's true. I think I would be more interested in like, hey, here's something that was happening in a different chunk of the world while Death Stranding was happening and just kind of make it kind of thematically similar. Even if it's like a different porter, like, oh, this dude ran into fire ghosts over here, or
Yeah.
whatever it was.
Or Die Hard
I bet
Man.
they'll just
More
tell the
about him.
same story.
Yeah.
They got Norman. I bet Norman Reedus would be happy to lend his voice. He's not doing much these days except like 3 Walking Dead shows.
Yeah. Yep. True.
All right, that's it for news. Like I said, no one's really talking because they're all waiting for next week.
Makes sense.
Let's do some emails. Let's do some questions because I don't think there's any emails in this one.
No.
topdownperspective@gmail.com is the email address. At TDP Podcast on Blue Sky, the Discord channel, or Claire's P.O. Box are all great ways to send your questions in. And you can sound like Rasterman, who writes, after saving up for what feels and was a decade, I became the owner of an apartment. Congratulations. Wow.
Yeah,
Owning
congrats.
property sounds unobtainable, in my opinion. What should be the first game I eventually play there? Here are some options from my backlog. Papers, Please, for all the bureaucracy papers I had to sign. Cozy Grove, chill game to calm down. Mini Metro, the apartment is very near a train station. Sonic 3, because it's Sonic 3. Okay, I'll start us off.
Unpacking.
Don't play any Sonic game ever.
You should play
Unpacking. So I'm going to cross that one right off the list.
It's a good game.
So you're saying they should play Sonic 3?
No, I'm saying they should play Unpacking.
Oh, Unpacking's a good one. That's a good one. But it's not on the list. You got to pick from this list.
From this list?
Yeah, these are the options.
Papers, Please gets really intense. If you want to chill out, you should probably play... Well, Mini Metro gets kind of fucked, too.
Yo, out of this one, I love Mini Metro. Like,
it's good.
That is an all-timer game for me. That's what I'm recommending. Play some Mini Metro.
Yeah. I'd probably say Mini Metro over Cozy Grove, mainly because I don't care about cozy games or whatever. Mini Metro is just fun. That's a good game.
There you go. All right.
Dead writes, Paul lives in the same province, Claire in the same country, Sean in the same continent as you grew up, but do you still identify with your original hometown? Do you still carry more of a culture and pride of where you're from or where you are now? And how do you deal with the dual hometown identity? How has it been dealing with friend and familial relationships previously established there?
Okay. Do you still care? There's a few questions here. Do you still carry more of the culture and pride of where you're from? So Calgary is known as Alberta's known as the Texas of Canada. In Calgary, they have a stampede where people unironically wear cowboy hats all year round. So no,
yeah,
I do not identify with that culture. In fact, when people ask me what should I do in Calgary, I tell them go to Banff. We've said that on this show. I don't really think Calgary is worth visiting. But obviously I have nostalgia for it as I grew up there. I would say I have more self-identity and pride towards Canada as a whole, having left that country and gone to a worse country.
You make it sound like you went to a third world nation. No comment.
My guy.
No comment.
My guy.
Yeah.
What about you? What are your thoughts there?
I mean, my hometown was 10 minutes out of Calgary in Airdrie, so it's the same thing essentially.
Which might as well be Calgary. I feel like at this point it is Calgary. Like
they're pretty close to connected, actually. So yeah. So I mean, I feel like most of this just doesn't apply to me, but I haven't kept up with any of the people there because I feel like when you're growing up, you are friends with people you're friends with because of where you are, maybe some parents
Proximity.
Or whatever. But it's not because I necessarily cared about a lot of those people necessarily. They were fine, but not enough obviously for me to want to keep in touch with a good portion of them. They were just kind of the people that were there at that time.
Right. I only keep in touch with a handful of people who I grew up with, and the majority of them no longer live in Calgary. When I do go back to Calgary, in terms of people I went to high school with, there's 2 left. And the others are I met after college or whatever, or I Clara met it through work.
Yep.
or through online. So I know, like, a great way of dealing with the friend and familiar relationships is start a podcast that forces you to talk to some old friends every single week.
Yeah, online has changed the game completely too, because you can just connect with you can stay connected with people you care about no matter where they go. So
yeah, and that was one of the main reasons I definitely wanted to keep the podcast going when I did move, and one of the reasons I was like not like super trying to like make it the biggest thing, get a huge audience, is it kind of just turned into like this is me chatting with some old friends every week about games. I don't want to lose that aspect
right.
of it. And then like the familial stuff. I mean, I don't know. I FaceTime my parents like every week. I see them at Christmas and stuff.
Yeah.
But and then kind of tangentially, like I didn't have like any kind of Canadian pride growing up there, but then leaving is when I finally got like kind of more proud of it, and was able to kind of tell people, in my immediate area down here, like, oh no, your country sucks. You have no idea how much better it could be. Like, let me give you all the reasons why Canada is better. And if they don't agree with me, that's a red flag, honestly.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know. I don't fuck with I don't like people that are blindly patriotism to anything. I just don't agree with it. So I don't find pride necessarily in being Canadian or whatever. It's just we do some good things, we do some bad things, maybe more good than some other countries, depending on what areas you look. But yeah, I don't know.
VGC Kenny writes, if someone were to ask you what opinion of theirs do you disagree on the most, would it be something that they think is bad but you think is good, or something that they think is good but you think is bad?
Wait.
This is a very broad question.
If someone were to ask you what opinion of theirs do you disagree with? Okay. It's usually that I think something is good that they think is bad. I
think I'm actually the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just trying to think like what that could be. Like maybe like a movie or something that they're into.
Movie or
like,
TV or something. Like, even games, like maybe.
Like I remember going to see like Borderlands comes to mind, coming out of that movie with a couple people, and then being like, it wasn't so bad, and me being like, what? Are you kidding me?
Oh yeah, that's a red flag. Holy shit.
Yeah. It was. That was absolutely a red flag.
Yeah.
So I think more so like that, but yeah.
Yeah. Suku writes, The Legend of Zelda has done multiplayer before in 3 and 4 player co-op in special game modes. However, what would a dedicated 2-player game like It Takes Two look like? What would you want in such a game? Dedicated 2-player mode.
It's a Zelda game, though. I'm having a hard time thinking about how you would make it.
I think what you would do is there's a light and a dark world that you're both in, like, versions of it that you would have to, like, do something in one to affect the other.
I can picture the puzzle aspect for sure.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of, like, 2-player puzzles. But I just don't see how you get much of, like, the Zelda's combat in there, really. Like, they're just going to be kind of, like, random, like, arenas where you're fighting, like, 4 dudes? Like, that just...
Well, I'm thinking, like, let's say a boss, right? The person in, like, the light world or whatever maybe shoots, like, a light arrow at it, and it banishes it to, like, the dark world, where now the dark world Link or whatever can actually attack it with its sword. And then it goes, like, back and forth. Or it's something to do with, like, lighting torches or whatever to switch things between. Like, you could
the
do some
bosses
stuff.
become more puzzly. Is there any aspect of the kind of, like... Because, there's, like, a hint of Metroidvania to Zelda in terms of, like, you get this item, now you can now access these kind of doors, or you go back to an area, and now you can, like, get the heart container. Is that anywhere in it? Like, or does it not? I almost just feel like you're changing the Zelda formula so much that it would almost feel like, why are you calling this Zelda? Are you just trying to get the brand on there so it sells more?
Yeah.
But which is not a bad thing. I mean, there's Cadence of Hyrule, which was pretty different, and that was really cool.
And Echoes of Wisdom, which had a cool idea that kind of just got stale.
Sure. But I was just trying to, like, completely take it out of the genre and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like what was, like, I feel like Cadence of Hyrule is like the biggest swing we've seen from Zelda.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe Link's crossbow training. It's pretty wild.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I could make it work.
I think if I was gonna if I wanted like a 2-player Zelda game, I don't know if I would want it to be It Takes Two style, but maybe more just kind of doubling down on the combat, like maybe almost like it like I like kind of like an Elden Ring, not like a Nightreign where it's like the speed in there, but I would like hey, let's get serious about like the combat in here, and let's make these dungeons difficult where it's like, no, you guys need to team up. Yeah, I think that would be kind of cool.
Yeah, you could do some cool stuff there. Be neat.
The one thing that It Takes Two might have a good version might be interesting is because in like Split Fiction, for example, they have different abilities all the time, and it would be cool if it was like, instead of it just being like 2 Links, maybe it's Link and Zelda, maybe it's adult and young Link, and they play like differently and stuff. That would be kind of cool.
That would be kind of cool. Yeah. Be neat.
All right, that's going to do it for questions. If you want to send in questions for next week, topdownperspective@gmail.com, @TDP podcast on Blue Sky, the Discord channel, or Claire's P.O. Box. What is your game of the week?
That's a good question. I don't actually know. I'll quickly find something.
Damn. The first week I was gone, it would have been Doom, because that's what I was playing a lot of that week, and then this week it's Nightreign.
Okay, sure. Say Claire Obscure Expedition 33. Still poking away at that ending.
Did you finish it?
I'm doing everything in it. All of the end game.
Oh, everything. Okay.
Yeah.
I eventually stopped because I wanted to get it done.
That stuff's real
I'm surprised
cool.
you didn't want to talk about that. Are you like turning on that game or something?
No, not at all. I think that's one of the best games I've played in my life. I love it.
Okay. Yeah. How did you? Again, I don't want to talk about spoilers. It's just been a while since we caught up. So obviously, the end of Act 1 is pretty brutal. End of Act 2 is pretty brutal too, right?
They
do it again. You didn't think they were gonna do something else, and they do it again.
I feel like I should have saw it coming because like the signs were there for a lot of that stuff, but it makes so much sense. But yeah, it's cool. And then at Act 3, I just got like my shit kicked in for a while, and then I started getting a little bit better, and then it got easier, and then it's like, okay, now we're gonna see all these like secret boss fights and all this cool shit. We're gonna do all of it. So that's what I'm doing right now.
Well, yeah, I definitely didn't do everything. I did kind of everything that was like doable, and then I was like, I want to see the ending. I want to see where this goes and stuff, and I want to move on and get back to some things.
Yeah, I've just been picking away at it in between other stuff.
One of my favorite gags is, I forget what they're called. What are the like really big creatures that you have to go fight like 2 of to like
the
make
Axons?
the sword? Axons. The dancing one, when all the like masks are flying and it just bounces off Minoko's face.
Yeah, that's a good gag.
He doesn't
You're
have
right.
a face.
Yeah,
because it's like this really crazy serious, and it's like, holy shit, what's happening? And it's just like knocking him in the head. It's not doing anything. God, the game is so funny, and it's like
such a good gag.
You have no right being this funny. I've played a lot of these RPGs. You have no right.
Yeah, the comedic timing is spot on for a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, especially Minoko and Verso, like they're very good together.
That's something we should probably do like a full spoiler cast talk on at some point.
Finish the game.
We should probably do that.
I'm waiting for you. I've been waiting for you for a month.
I'm waiting for you. I want to talk about the boss you haven't seen.
That's fine. I'm not going to play.
Yeah,
I've seen enough. You can spoil the rest of it. I'm content. I got to move on with my life. So
I never want to move on. I want to live there forever. Forever.
Well, all good things come to an end. Okay. Yeah. Thanks everyone for listening. We'll see you next week.
Bye.